Hello. Storm Amy crosses northern parts of the UK overnight, bringing widespread strong and gusty winds as well as heavy rainfall. But it's the north where we're likely to see the most impactful winds. The risk of dangerous wind gusts as Storm Amy continues to deepen on its approach to the UK. It has been deepening very quickly through the day on Friday as it gets picked up by the jet stream and in fact moves onto the cold side of the jet stream. And you can see by the evening how many isobars are on the chart, and it's on the southern flank of this storm where we're likely to see the very strongest of the winds peaking during the evening. And we're talking about wind gusts widely across parts of Wales into northern England, Scotland and Northern Ireland of 50-60 miles an hour. And wind gusts in exposed parts of Scotland, northwest England, North Wales and Northern Ireland of 70 or more miles per hour. But we do have amber warnings for western parts of Northern Ireland, western Scotland and then later on northern Scotland, where wind gusts are expected to exceed 80 miles an hour. And it's during the evening on Friday we are most concerned about this very narrow swathe of strong winds pushing into the Western Isles, into the west coast of Scotland, where there is the risk in some exposed spots of 100-mile-per-hour wind gusts. But note how the winds drop out across the centre of the low. So for parts of Lewis and Harris, perhaps a spell where it's really not that windy at all before the strong winds return as Amy pulls away. And then the strongest of the winds transfer into northern Scotland through the night. But it's going to be windy further south as well. Across many parts of the UK, we have yellow warnings in force, 50-60 mile-per-hour wind gusts overnight and into much of Saturday. But it's the amber warning areas where we are most concerned about Amy, because it's in these areas where there is the risk of very disruptive and damaging winds, widespread transport disruption, power disruption, as well as dangerous conditions due to flying debris and large waves near coasts. We also have rain warnings in force because of Storm Amy. Of course, it's been a wet week across western Scotland, Northern Ireland, parts of northwest England. Further rain to come from Amy, although the worst of that is now moving away as we go into the evening and overnight, followed by frequent blustery showers and longer spells of rain for the north and west of Scotland. And it's after the main band of rain, of course, that the winds really pick up and peak during the evening, the first part of the night across western Scotland and Northern Ireland, and then later in the night across the north and northeast of Scotland. As the rain travels south across England and Wales, there's going to be some lively conditions overnight. Could wake you up with the heavy rain for a brief period of time, and also a sharp increase in wind gusts as a cold front moves through. 50, 60, perhaps 65 mile-per-hour wind gusts across parts of England and Wales as that transitions southeastwards. Obviously, it's going to be a relatively mild night because of all the weather taking place, but it's certainly going to be a blustery start to Saturday. This shows the strong winds across many parts of the UK, 50 mile-per-hour wind gusts widely, but it's the north and northeast of Scotland where there is the risk throughout the daytime on Saturday of 70 to 85 mile-per-hour wind gusts. Again, disruption likely, ferry cancellations, damaging wind gusts, as well as dangerous conditions around coasts. By the start of Sunday, yes, it's still blustery, but the strongest of the winds are moving through. Once this weather front's out of the way, it is brighter across England and Wales, but there's further spells of rain pushing south across England and Wales, but also much of northern Scotland. And the rain really accumulating throughout Saturday for the Northwest Highlands. Could be 70 to 100 millimetres of rainfall, I should say. Also combined with heavy showers for many parts of the UK. So a very unsettled day to come on Saturday. Those heavy downpours and the strong wind making it feel on the cool side. With the wind coming from the northwest, it is going to feel notably different with that wind chill now compared with the last couple of days of milder weather. Further spells of rain is the north of Scotland overnight on Saturday night. Showers also continuing to tumble into western parts of the UK, but slowly but surely the winds and the showery activity do start to decline, so that by the time we get to Sunday morning, temperatures of 9 or 10 Celsius, but still feeling fresh out there in the gusty wind. However, that wind is easing through Sunday. Sunday's a more typical blustery day rather than a particularly impactful day. There'll be showery rain, particularly in the west. There'll be brighter spells, particularly in the east. And that wind, not particularly strong by the end of the day in many parts, so perhaps feeling a little more pleasant as we end the weekend. The southwest seeing the best of the sunshine at this stage. A lot of cloud elsewhere. Temperatures up to the mid-teens. Next week we keep a keen westerly breeze, but nothing particularly stormy on the horizon. It looks like fairly typical October weather. It's all about the next 24 hours. Stay safe, stay up to date with the latest.